Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to discuss the example for function and graph. A function of f is defined by the situation where we have fx is equals to x squared minus 2x minus 3 for the domain x greater equals to 1. Find the inverse function of f. Before we find the inverse function of f, my advice is to represent the function of fx in the standard form, where we have to completing the square. So we have the fx is equals to x squared minus 2x minus 3. Before we start completing the square, make sure the coefficient for the x squared is a positive 1. So in here, we're already in a positive 1. Let's begin. So fx is equals to x squared minus 2x. Then we have plus bracket square minus bracket square minus 3. So in this case, we have negative 2 over 2. So negative 1. Simplify the situation. So for this case, we have x minus 1 bracket square. And then we have minus 4. So that will be the standard form. Next, we are going to find the inverse. Let y is equals to fx. Then f inverse y is equals to x. So for this case, y is equals to x minus 1 bracket square minus 4. Kindly take note where we have x must be greater equals to 1. Next, try to represent the situation x as a subject. So y minus 4 is equals to x minus 1 bracket square. Continue. We have x minus 1 which is equals to y minus 4. We have the square root. Only involve the positive sign because here they mention x must be greater equals to 1. Finally, the x is equals to 1 plus with the square root of y minus 4. As we all know, x actually equals to f inverse of y. So, f inverse of the y is equals to square root of y minus 4 plus with the 1. F inverse of x will be equals to square root of x minus 4 plus with the 1. So that will be the inverse function for the f. Next, sketch the graph for the function f and f inverse on the same axis. So now we are going to sketch the graph for function of fx. So step number 1 is to determine the shape. So here the coefficient for the x squared is positive 1 or the positive, or we can say a greater than 0. The shape will be U shape. Step number 2, identify the intersection. So in order to find the x-intercept means that y must be equals to 0. So we have x squared minus 2x minus 3 equals to 0. So x minus 3, x plus with the 1 equals to 0. So x will be equals to 3, x will be equals to negative 1. So we have the coordinate 3, 0, negative 1, 0. In order to find the y-intercept means that x must be equals to 0. So y is equals to negative 3. So the coordinate will be 0, negative 3. The following step will be the standard form. So here we have the standard form x minus 1 bracket square minus 4. So from here we can obtain the minimum point because we have the U shape. So the minimum point would be 1, negative 4. And the symmetrical axis would be x is equals to 1. So now we are going to sketch the graph. First we have the U shape. Then kindly plot the point where we have 3, 0. So let's say here we have 1, 2, and 3. Then negative 1, 0. So kindly refers to the question. The question said x must be greater equals to 1. So negative 1, 0 does not include. Continue. 0, negative 3. This one does not include because x must be greater equals to 1. Then continue. We have the minimum point 1, negative 4. So let's say here we have negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4. So 1, negative 4 will be around here. 1, negative 4. Then here we have 3, 0. So the graph will be something like this. Move on with the situation. So try to reflect the situation. So here we have the symmetrical axis, y is equals to x. So try to reflect the situation in order to find the f inverse. So refers to 1, negative 4. If you reflect, it becomes negative 4, 1. So let's say here we have negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4. and then here we have 1. So the coordinate will be somewhere like here. -4 and then 1. Continue. We have 3, 0. If we reflect, it becomes 0, 3. So here we have 1, then 2, then 3. So our graph will be something like this. So here 0, 3. So that is the F inverse, and then this one is the F. So here we have the y-axis, and then here we have the x-axis. So B, sketch the graph of F and F inverse on the same coordinate. Continue. State the domain and range for the F. Domain for F inverse and also the range for F inverse. The domain for the F inverse kindly refers to the graph for the value of x, red in color graph, -4 until infinity. So that will be the domain for F inverse. Then, as for the range, refers to the value of y for the red in color graph, and we notice that the range will be 1 until infinity. For the extra information, actually, the domain for F inverse is the range for F. And for the range for F inverse, actually is domain for F. If you are new here, kindly consider subscribing to this channel and share this video to your friend. Thank you so much for watching this video. Bye.